friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. In today's video, I am working again in my 2018 Project Life album. This week we are working on week 34, which would have been the third week of August. That means I am still using my August Stories by the Month kit from 2018, the physical kit, in addition to my Stories by the Year kit from Allie Edwards. Now, because I am only using that Stories by the Month kit for Project Life and not for any other projects, I am able to stretch it out for most of the month. And then by supplementing in the Stories by the Year kit, that is allowing me to get all of the weeks for each of the month done, with some that is a little bit more generic and some that is a little bit more specified to the month. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything laid out here on my table, put you on fast forward, and then we're going to work together on putting the rest of the spread together. Then once I have it done, we'll slow back down and close out for today. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, friends, so for this week's spread, the first thing I did here was to go ahead and set out all of those cards and photos and everything where I want it to go. And you can see here that I've got the This Week card, which came from the Stories by the Year kit. And then I've got, I believe, the one in the middle that's got the teal stripe sections with journaling. That came from the August Stories by the Month kit. And then most of the other cards are all from a slew of collections, just kind of my stash that I went through and found cards that all had the same color scheme. So the Slow Down card, I believe, was from a June Stories by the Month kit. The teal box with a little bit of journaling at the bottom was from a really old December Daily kit. The card that says Let's Talk About Me is from a Week in the Life kit that was designed by Kylie in Kentucky. And then the card above that, that's got all of those sections that say currently playing, that is from the Play Story kit. So this week's spread was really just a stash busting week. So once I had all of that figured out, the next thing I did was go through my embellishments to try and figure out what I wanted to use as my design formula for this week. I pulled over all of my circle-shaped chipboard pieces, and I'm just looking for ones that have sentiments that make sense for the week, and then also a few pieces that will work on the larger photos, and then some pieces that will work on the smaller areas as well. The circle chipboard in the middle there that says This Story in gray, that was from a chipboard set from the 2020 Week in the Life collection. I actually got it a second time because I really like the chipboard. There's one that says This Story, and then the rest of them have the numbers 1 through 7, which I thought would make a really awesome story layout at some point in the future. I also went through my acetate hearts and found 4 of them that I could add onto each of the 4 3x4 photos. Usually when I have an embellishment that I like to use, what I typically do is repeat it across all of the elements that are the same. So if I find a circled chipboard piece to add onto a 3x4 photo, then I will typically add one on every 3x4 photo or 4x6 photo or whatever it is. So for this one, I have circle chipboards on most of my 4x6 photos, and then I have the acetate hearts, which I will staple on, and then I believe I will also add a tiny phrase sticker that is black with white writing on all of those photos as well. It just keeps it nice and cohesive and helps it to not feel as busy, even though there's a lot going on in this week's spread. This is a little bit busier than I normally do, but that's okay. I still end up really liking it. So for stories this week, this would have been, I believe, the end of August. We have a day where Isabella came with me to work. I was, at this point, about 8 months pregnant with Jonah, and still going into the office and training the person who was going to temporarily replace me, which is, a whole thing. Isabella came with me one day, and that's the picture of her with all the sorting cups as an activity that she could do in my office. Then I've got a couple of pictures from a day out on the town. We went to dinner at a local bakery here in town called Crust. So I've got some pictures of all of us from there, and also some pictures from the library. So the one at the bottom, and then a pile of the books and movies that we brought home. The day that we went to the library, we also stopped over at the park. So I have some pictures of Izzy swinging and I'm pushing her. And then for the weekend, I went to an event here at a local nursery that is like a, what do I want to say? It's not really a fair. It's like a fair at their plant nursery, and it's really, really nice and pretty to go through. So I did that with my mom and my aunt and my cousin, and then Aaron and Izzy just had a lazy day at home. So I have a picture of them from watching TV in the house. So I added a little cardstock heart sticker in between my dates. I like to do that just as a date separator for most of these spreads, especially for the cards that say this week, because there's a large area to add your stamping and my date stamps don't take up the whole space. So it just helps to fill that in a little bit more. And then here's where I'm going to add one of those tiny phrase stickers across all of those hearts, which helps to break up the photo a little bit, but then also to draw the attention that, hey, there's actually a clear-ish plastic shape here that's adding some color to this spread as well. Once I have all of that here, then we're going to call this spread done. All right, friends, that completes my spread for today. This one was really fun for getting a lot of my embellishments that I've just had in my stash totally used up, and love the way that it all turned out. I think it was fun to play with the different shapes, so circles and hearts this time, which is a little different for me than normal. Usually I just pick one shape and stick to that for my entire spread. So I had fun shaking that up just a little bit, but still keeping things fairly simple and easy. I hope that you enjoyed watching this spread come together, and I hope that it inspires you to tell your stories this week as well, or if nothing else, to see if you can pull one of your unfinished projects off the shelf and get a little bit of work done on that over the course of the next week. All right, friends, I will be back again next week with my next spread in my 2018 Project Life album. Until then, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend ahead, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye, friends.